and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Kurali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
Ontario LTC nurses get 11.5% pay increase over 2 years. Man, youth, arrested in connection with GTA carjackings, home invasion. Driver charged after 16-year-old boy struck and killed in one. Women found dead in Lake Ontario 2017 matches identity of missing person in Switzerland. Shooting downtown leaves a man with critical injuries, police. Shooting incidents on the rise in Hamilton as police release videos to identify suspects. Indian international students more likely to live in unsuitable housing, StatCan says.
Those were the headlines, and let's jump right into the details.
Hamilton police say they have seen a marked increase in the number of incidents involving gunfire in the city in recent weeks, including ones that occurred in broad daylight near a daycare and a busy alleyway where children were walking home from school. During a news conference on Wednesday, police released security camera footage of multiple incidents, including one video that showed a suspect firing at a vehicle in an alleyway where a small child was walking just moments earlier. The daylight shooting occurred shortly before 5 p.m. on May 13 near Barton Street East and Kinraid Avenue. According to investigators, witnesses reported an exchange of gunfire involving several individuals, and bullets were found in buildings, vehicles, garages, and roadways. A vehicle that police believe was involved was found abandoned nearby. The suspects have not been apprehended, police said. Police said in an effort to identify 3 suspects, they have released video footage of another shooting incident near Sherman Avenue South and Main Street, which occurred shortly before midnight on May 17. In the footage, 3 males are seen running on a sidewalk before turning the corner. No injuries were reported. According to police, there have been 21 shootings in Hamilton since January 2024, an increase of 11 over the same period 1 year earlier. This is the highest number of shootings year to date since 2019, police said in a news release. They noted that the majority of the shooting incidents have been targeted. Do not let the reckless actions of a few define our community's safety. As a community, we cannot accept or tolerate this level of violence. Hamilton Police Chief Frank Bergen said, "Can't become complacent in response to these increasingly brazen acts." A man has been rushed to hospital in life-threatening condition after a shooting in Toronto's downtown core. It happened shortly before 12:30 a.m. in the area of Sherbourne and Isabella Streets near Bloor Street. Police said a man was found at the back of a building in the area suffering from gunshot wounds. He was transported to hospital via emergency run. Police said they believe the shooting occurred outside. No information has been released on possible suspects, but police said they were last seen fleeing the area on foot. No arrests have been made, and police said the investigation is active and ongoing. Genetic genealogy has helped Toronto police identify a woman who was found dead in Lake Ontario in 2017. Police announced the new development in the 5-year-old cold case on Wednesday. On August 10, 2017, officers responded to a call for unknown trouble at Humber Bay Shores Park in Etobicoke, Ontario at 5:15 p.m. The woman was discovered wearing a red tank top and navy blue pants with no identification or personal possessions. Police released an artist's rendition of the woman, describing her as white, 44 to 70 years old, 5'4" to 5'6", 135 to 150 pounds, with brown eyes and short gray hair. Investigators launched a Canada-wide missing person case and made public appeals to identify the woman, but no leads surfaced. Then, in January 2023, Toronto police began using investigative genetic genealogy, which revealed that the unidentified woman had distant relatives in North America, most of whom had heritage that traced back to a specific region in Switzerland. In August 2023, Toronto police, with the assistance of the RCMP, reached out to police in the European nation and began focusing their investigation on a woman who went missing from there in September 2017. A DNA comparison between the deceased woman found in Lake Ontario and relatives of the missing person in Switzerland confirmed that the cases were a match. Swiss police are notified the woman's family of their discovery. Toronto police said they are not releasing the woman's identity because her death was not a criminal matter. International students were more likely to live in unsuitable housing in 2021 than Canadian-born students, a report released Thursday by Statistics Canada shows. In the top 10 municipalities with the largest number of international students, 25 to 63% of them were living in unsuitable housing. By comparison, the rate of students living in unsuitable housing was 13 to 45 percentage points lower among Canadian-born students aged 18 to 24. One of the requirements for suitable housing is that adults should have their own bedroom if they are not part of a couple. The study, which was based on the most recent census data, found country of origin accounted for most of the variation between municipalities and rates of housing suitability among international students. Notably, Indian students were more likely to live in unsuitable housing than students from other countries. In Brampton, Ontario, and Surrey, British Columbia, the municipalities with the largest proportion of Indian students, more than 60% of international students were living in unsuitable housing. Meanwhile, only 16.6% of Canadian-born students in Surrey lived in housing considered unsuitable by the Statistics Agency. The number of international students has only increased since the data was collected. A sharp rise in international students in Canada has raised concerns about the added pressure placed on the housing market, as well as affordability challenges students face themselves. In 2023, there were more than 1 million international students in Canada, a 29% increase from the previous year. After facing intense scrutiny for increase, the federal government announced earlier this year that it is imposing a 2-year cap on study permits to curb international student enrollments. Nurses in the majority of long-term care homes in Ontario are set to get what their union is calling the most significant wage increase in more than 30 years. An arbitration decision released this week gives pay bumps to the Ontario Nurses Association members that work out to about 11.5% over 2 years. The arbitrator awarded 3% increases in each of the 2 years and said the salary grid amounts about 5.5% higher, taking effect on July 1st. ONA also represents nurse practitioners, registered practical nurses, personal support workers, health care aides, and guest attendants in some of the homes. President Erin Aris says the decision is a first step toward recognizing the highly skilled work performed by nurses and health professionals in the sector. While the decision does not eliminate the wage gap between public and private sector nurses, it significantly reduces the disparity between them and brings us closer to equal wages, she wrote in a statement. A 24-year-old driver is facing charges after a 16-year-old boy was struck and killed in Vaughan, Ontario, Tuesday night. The collision happened near Martin Grove Road and Jackman Crescent, south of Langstaff Road. York Regional Police said they were called to the area at 10:45 p.m. for reports of a collision involving a mini bike and a vehicle at a four-way stop in the area. Police said when officers arrived on scene, they found a boy suffering from life-threatening injuries. The victim was taken to the hospital where he later died, they said. Harnoor Chauhan, 24, of Vaughan, was arrested in connection with the crash and charged with dangerous operation causing death, failure to stop after an accident causing death, and possession of a controlled substance. Police said Chauhan was bound by a release order for unrelated offenses at the time of the incident. Investigators are appealing to any witnesses who have not yet spoken with police and to everyone who may have dashcam footage or video surveillance of the area, including doorbell cameras, around the time of the collision to please come forward, YRP said in a news release. Anyone with video of crash can upload it to a portal created by police here. Alternatively, police are asking anyone with information about the incident to contact the Major Collision Investigation Unit at 1-866-876-5423 extension 7704 or Crime Stoppers anonymously.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.